Hey, Wild Girls Gone Sober.
Woo! Wild Girls Gone Sober.
Yeah, welcome to we think maybe
We think.
episode 20.
We think.
We're guessing. We're not sure. We're recording 2 in one day, so it always gets a little confusing. Welcome back to the super high-tech laboratory of Wild Girls Gone Sober. So fancy, so excited. We didn't really watch the last episode yet, but we played a little bit of it, and it sounds amazing. So really excited. So we didn't introduce ourselves last time. I'm Amy.
I'm Lindsay.
Hey. I want to talk about men.
Men.
Men. Yeah, I want to talk about men, and if like a bunch of different things. I have so many things swirling around in my brain. I had a big old fucking fight with my husband a couple weeks ago. Week ago?
Jay Snow Rumble.
Fucking Jay Snow, man. I love that man. It's disgusting how much I love him. But we had an ick. We had a real ick. We went out to dinner one night and he said something that hurt my feelings a lot. And I like reacted really strongly and didn't speak for the rest of dinner. We had a very shitballs awkward date night that
fucking hate that.
it was the worst. It was the worst because I was so excited to go out. I got all dressed up. We went to a place we'd never been before. That was it was really nice too. Like I want to fucking go back because we can have a nice dinner there. And yeah, he said something that hurt my feelings like before the appetizer even fucking came.
Oh.
Suck. Maybe it was during the appetizer. Anyway, fucking sucked. So it spawned almost a week-long standoff of like not really talking to each other because I expected him to reapproach and apologize, and he's a stubborn mofo and was not about to do that. And when I finally was like, listen, we need to talk, he threw down hard. And the reason I want to talk about this is because traditionally, when Jay Snow and I would have a fight, I was always coming from a very insecure place of, oh my God, I love him more than he loves me. I can't live without him. I'm going to die. Like I was always coming from that place of like not being worthy, and worried he was going to leave me. Like, and it's funny, when I was talking to my therapist a while back, one of the things she said to me was like, when you talk about your husband, I feel like you're talking about your boyfriend who's going to like break up with you. She's like, this is your fucking husband. He's not going anywhere. Like he has married you. He's staying here. Da 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 da. So we had our anniversary dinner and I was telling you, oh, we had this great talk. And, you know, he talked about the fact that, you know, I used to have all these like insecurities that kind of didn't really have a reason for having them. Like they were unfounded insecurities. So we have this fight. He throws down hard and kind of like drops a maybe we shouldn't be together bomb, like that kind of thing. And I was like, what? Like totally took me off guard. But at the end of the day, I'm super proud of how I handled the whole situation because, you know, I took some time. I was a mess. Let's be clear. I was a mess. I'm not saying I didn't freak out. I was like, fuck. But I was more of a mess of like, okay, well, if we're not going to be together, like, I got to figure out a place to live. I got to figure out what I'm going to do. Like, I kind of came from that place instead of like the, oh my God, I love him so much. He can't ever leave me. Like, it was a different reaction than I usually have. And so at the end of the day, we're fine. We had a great talk. He felt badly for throwing down so hard initially. He's like, I really didn't mean to make that sound like that. And there's follow-up chats to be had. But I took some time. I wrote some thoughts down. I reapproached and I was ready to like, hi. I was ready to like stand my ground and be like, all right, well, if you think we shouldn't be together, then that's what you think. And I deserve to be with somebody who 1,000,000% wants to be with me, and we will figure it out. Like that's where I came from. And I was just really proud of myself for having that kind of like confidence in myself and value for myself. That's
Sober
really
confidence.
what it was. Yes. And I valued myself enough. I'm tilting this thing the wrong way. I valued myself enough to be like, I deserve everything. I deserve it all. So if that's not what I'm getting, then okay. Like it was just such a different place to come from. Yeah. And like I said, we're good. We're okay. We had a great talk. We're fine. You know,
Because now you're not like, oh, he's going to be mad. He's not mad over some, like, you know, there's nothing like really that he's mad over that too, I think, is because of your drinking. Like, there's no, like,
Right.
you're not embarrassed, you're not
I'm
ashamed,
not
you didn't,
guilty.
sleep in the bathtub again last night. Now
Right.
you have to, like, be all meek and kind of like, oh, you're
Yeah,
right.
lick your asshole.
Please don't leave me. Right. And I think that
Sorry,
you would
everybody.
never
That was
have,
dirty.
I don't feel like you would have ever felt that way still drinking because you still had that guilt and shame.
Right, because I'm probably wrong, and I'm probably
Right.
the bad one, and I'm probably the one who deserves to be treated poorly because I'm not worthy, and I'm not enough, and I'm not good enough. Yeah.
And you wouldn't be feeling your feelings because you're just numbing them out with booze and alcohol. I totally,
Well, and to be honest, I probably wouldn't have, like, I felt I was kind of standing up for myself with the silent dinner. Like, you've said something really hurtful, and you're aware that it hurt me. I don't need to come at you begging you to apologize to me
Mhm.
or begging forgiveness for whatever made you say that. You know what I mean? Like,
Mhm.
I was just like, wow, I'm fucking hurt. And I stood in that. And that's a big deal for me. Like, I don't get
Mhm.
mad, angry, yelling, hurt, like, outwardly. So it was a big
Right.
deal that I expressed that as strongly as I did and that I kind of stood my ground in it.
Right. That's awesome.
Yeah, it
I'm
was
proud of
good.
you.
It was
It's a big
good.
deal.
So that was my first men issue.
But getting that confidence,
Mm,
right, would have
mm.
never happened if you weren't sober.
No, I
Right.
would have totally. This is the first time we've ever had any kind of a kerfuffle, as I like to call it. Um,
Spell that.
KUR. It was the first time we've ever had any kind of kerfuffle where I have not been the like tail between my legs, like "Ah," about it, like where.
Mhm.
And I'm never the one who like I don't want to say starts a fight because I don't feel like I started a fight, but I'm never the one who's like, hey, like not okay. That's never me. I'm just like, oh, that really hurt. I'm just gonna like put that in here in this pocket,
I'll
and
drink
I'll
about
just
it
have
later.
some more wine because then I won't feel so bad about it, and we'll just move on with dinner, and I'll wipe my tears away and pretend like I'm not super hurt. Like I really was like, damn it, fucking hurt.
No, I love it. And I think that it's so important, right? Because now that we see the value, a lot more value in ourselves, and we're taking care of ourselves, and we're doing all these things and getting your emotions back and being able to like, because I'm sure at first everything was like all over, right, when he hurt you. And now you can like put them in the right categories of emotions of where they need to be
Mm-hmm.
and review them.
Mm-hmm.
And you're not just like going to drink at it,
Right.
right? Like, or
Right.
about it
Or to avoid it or
right.
whatever. Yeah.
And so then you were able to like consciously write some pros and cons like we discussed, we
Mm-hmm.
chatted through this week,
Mhm.
through that week. And like it's just everything's so much clearer and there's no you don't need to apologize. You're unapologetic about it. You're like,
Yes.
this is what I deserve. That wasn't
Yeah,
fair.
this is how I feel
And
about that, and I'm
right,
not wrong to feel that way.
right. Let's discuss it
What?
like
What?
adults.
Who are you? Who is this girl? I don't know. It's weird.
No,
It's weird.
I
Yeah,
mean,
it
and
was it was good as awful as it was. 'Cause I mean,
mhm.
it was awful. It was emotional. I was upset. I was worried. I was, I didn't know what was gonna come of it. He could have been like, okay, bye. But
But like
I was gonna be okay. That's kind of
right.
where I was like, I'm not gonna drink over it because
Mhm.
I mean, that if anything's gonna make me like lose my shit and go off the wagon, it's probably gonna be relationship related. And
Correct.
so to make it through what was a pretty big blow up and be like,
Just
okay,
hold on.
yep,
No, you're good.
I'm not gonna drink about it, and I'm gonna be okay no matter what happens. I will be okay. I'll figure it out. I
Mhm.
can bag groceries at Publix if I need to get some first last month's rent. I'll figure it out. You know what I mean? Like I was okay. Um,
Putting those little like resentments, like you said, like, oh, I'll just drink about it and all those little things, like, now you can handle them as they come instead of putting them in the jar. Like, and it's the confidence. Like we have our like, you make fun of us, which we haven't had in a while, but we usually schedule like a little love chat. And for like just to
I
make
do
sure we're
make
like
fun.
on the
I'm
same
sorry.
page and there's none of those, right? There's no little resentments in the jar of like, oh, well, you let those dishes sit there for 2 days and now I'm at like, just like kind of like
Because
a
you're
chance,
talking about that stuff. Yeah.
right? Like it's just a chance to get it open because you're confident enough to be like, hey, can you just not do that?
Right.
It really irritates me or whatever it
Right.
is, right? and not to just be like, oh, I'm just going to drink about it or at it. And
Or passive aggressively wash
right,
the dishes at you.
right. I'm just going to wash them. Ah, you
Or passive
know?
aggressively wash the dishes at you.
So, but yeah, but so when we have these talks and stuff now, it's like before I would come to the conversation with my kind of my tail between my legs, and because I wasn't even aware, like even as being sober, I wasn't aware of how my actions and my thoughts and all these things like affected other situations. I'm trying to circle this back. It will, I promise.
I'm waiting for it.
But now I come to the table and I feel stronger, right? Like I'm in this too. Like I'm an equal in this relationship. Like I could leave just as easily as you could leave type
Yes.
of thing. And
Yes.
that's the importance of like the confidence that you have to feel like a strong equal in
Right.
that. And that's one thing I will give Pat kudos. He always like makes me feel equal, and I've never had that before.
Mm.
And that's something that I value now in myself and in our relationship. I hope that circled back.
Yeah,
Did it
no,
not?
it was good.
Okay.
It did. I'm thinking about, we've got some other components in our relationship that, make it trickier,
Mhm.
but the message is the same. Yes,
Yeah.
we are equals, and we're a husband and wife. We should be operating as a team that
Mhm.
is on each other's side and that equally values each other. And I need to value myself that way. Like, it's not John not valuing me, it's me not ranking
Mhm.
myself on the same level. And that was what was, I think, different. I was like, all right,
Mhm.
let's talk it out then. If that's, whatever direction this goes in, I'm coming from a place of love and loving you and wanting us to be okay. But I'm going to be okay no matter what happens. Like, that was, I love me too.
Aw.
Right?
Mhm.
Big
Look
stuff.
at you, big
Big
girl.
stuff. Ugh. Yeah, that was good. That's a big one. So,
I
yeah.
love it.
So that was going on. Another thing we were talking about a little while ago, and it related to, I forget how we circled into this, but I was talking about like interactions with men. I think it was because I was listening to your 1 year. I listened to
Mhm.
the episode before last. That was your 1 year, and or maybe it was the one before that. It doesn't matter. Anyway, one of our episodes, we were talking about like if you're new, come in, build relationships with women, da 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 da. Even though we've always been the girls who are like, oh, I get along better with guys than I do girls. I'm noticing now as the sober me
Mhm.
that there are several interactions I've had with people who are a part of my world, typically acquaintances, not people I'm close to, but like acquaintances through networking or work or whatever
Mhm.
that are, for lack of a better term, I want to say flirting, but that are being kind of inappropriate in my opinion. Like they're being inappropriate toward me. They're saying flirty things that are uncomfortable for me, that I don't like, that I don't feel like.
Like you've opened that window for them?
And I feel like it has to have come from the rapport that I built with them while I was drinking, because I was probably flirty and friendly and like, oh, that's so funny and so cute. And I'm one of the guys, so I make dirty jokes too, or whatever. Like, whatever my behavior has been, I've given them permission to interact with me in a certain way that now I'm like, ooh, not okay. Like, not okay with that. Like, there's a person that I like, again, know through networking, super
Mhm.
nice person, think very highly of him, but
I don't anymore.
makes comments like, I think he probably would get in my pants if I let him. And I'm like, oh, like, no, no, no. First off, fucking never. Second, I'm not that, like, I'm not a fucking cheater. And I don't know. It just, it made me, it was blatant enough at one point that I was like, oh, okay, I need to.
Set boundaries?
Yeah, yeah, and it's gonna be interesting. Like right now, there's not a lot of networking because of COVID. And so some of these things happened like just before everything shut down. So it's been a while, and you made a great point
Mhm.
about kind of the reset.
Oh, yeah. So COVID now, like I had this girlfriend, she was always like, you're always hugging guys. Like, stop hugging these men. They're getting the wrong impression. Like, they see you and they just want to they just want to hug you. So you put their boobs on you. Like, stop hugging these men.
Mm.
Like, a handshake will do. Like, these are not your people. And
Go girl.
yeah, and I'm always like,
She's like, stop being a
"Ah,"
whore. Get your tits off
yeah.
everybody.
Well, yeah, but and to me, I'm like, it's just a hug. Stop being such a prude,
Right.
right?
I'm just super friendly.
Right. They're just my friends. They're people I
Mm-hmm.
know.
Mm-hmm.
I want them to like me. I want everybody to like me, even though
Right.
I don't even like them.
Right.
So, but with COVID, it's a really good like reset because now you're not going to offend anybody. And if you do, I mean, who really gives a fuck anyways? But now nobody's touching, nobody's hugging.
Right.
It's even like elbow dapping isn't like really, however.
Yeah, you're not touching. You're just
Right.
like,
You're just like,
hi.
oh,
Yeah.
air hug or
What
whatever.
up?
Yeah. Woo woo.
Yeah.
So it's a good time to just kind of like reset those
Yeah.
boundaries because now you don't have to be uncomfortable being like, hey, because how do you reset if it wasn't
Right.
COVID, right? Like,
Right.
oh, I used to allow you to talk to me this way and I used to encourage it because I like the attention and I like to be
Right.
accepted and I like that you like me.
Yep.
But now I'm gonna, this is where I'm gonna draw my new line in the sand.
Right.
Like,
And you better figure out how to back up behind it. Yeah.
right. And not,
Yeah.
and then, but then you still are like, but I don't want you to think I'm a bitch. But, like, how do you, I don't know, redefine what that means?
Well, and I
That
think
is.
it's time. It's
Mhm.
so remember early on, we talked a lot about the comments people would make. Like, people would make all these comments to me about, like, oh, what's the matter? They run out of wine? Like, is that why you're leaving early? Like, shit like
Right.
that. And I got a lot of like those jabs, and I don't anymore. Like, that doesn't really happen at this
Mm-hmm.
point. Like, I've had a few people who are still like, "What? What do you mean you're not drinking?" Because not everybody knows. Like, you don't see and
Mm-hmm.
there's been a separation from people for a few months now, so
Right.
not everybody understands. Um, but I feel like that has gotten better over time, and I feel like this might be a similar situation. It's just a more it's got to be a little bit more like me stopping it is going to be the interesting
Mm-hmm.
part. So I think over time, me not feeding into that will help. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure when people said things to me like flirty or innuendo-y or whatever, I was like, oh, haha, blah, 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 and I gave it right back to them, right? Because I'm one of the guys and I could do that, and I'm
Mm-hmm.
not realizing I'm being a stupid flirty bitch, not feeding back into that and just being like, oh, which is kind of what my reaction has been. It's been very flat, like, oh, okay. And moving the conversation in a different direction. I think that alone will make a difference. But I do think I've got to be prepared when we do ever get back to a place where I'm in a networking zone all the time again, that I have a halt to it. Like, I have to be comfortable enough to be like,
Yeah.
that's not really funny. I'm not really okay with that. And do it privately.
Mm-hmm.
Like, not to do it in front of a room
To
full of
embarrass
people.
anyone.
Yeah, just maybe like
Sorry, I'm just.
walk away. And if I have an opportunity to say to that person, hey, I probably gave you permission in the past to say things like that, but it really does make me uncomfortable. Like, I don't know if I can do that. I don't know. We're going to have to see. That'll be a growth opportunity. But I
Mm-hmm.
think for now, I'm just kind of halting it. Like, and I'm not responding. I'm not reacting. I'm not laughing at it if I
Mm-hmm.
genuinely didn't think it was appropriate. I'm just giving them a little bit of like, awkward face.
See, and my situation's a little different because I kind of like I've I've moved, I've changed jobs, I've not spoken to a lot of people I used to, and for good reason, And so I'm sure that will come up. Like it's a small world. We see people all the time, but it really hasn't it hasn't happened where I can like it's a fresh memory in my mind.
Mm,
Um but yeah, I could see that being an issue because, and I'm also not doing the same job where I would be networking as much and
right.
seeing those same people that I may have allowed it.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a little different, but kudos to you for even just like, seeing that that's an issue, right? Like
Yeah.
that's.
Well, and it was us talking about, men with men, women with women. That was a part of
Mhm.
it because I bet a lot of us do that. You hit on some really good points about it. Like, I need you to like me. I need to
Mhm.
feel loved. I need to feel accepted. Um, I spent a good portion of my life fretting, and I still fret a little bit about
Mhm.
that, right? I still have the same neediness and self confidence issues. I'm still working on all those things, but I'm still a fat little unpopular kid who gets made fun of in my head, right?
I'm
Like
still a I'm still a tall, redheaded, frizzy, freckled girl.
yeah. So, and not for anything, but we're gorgeous. Like screw that. But I'm still that person in my head, and so there's trauma in there from those experiences. And I mean, I got bullied hard. I got like beat up, bullied hard.
Mm.
And then I had some experiences in social settings where I just wasn't accepted, or I was blatantly ostracized and made the butt of the joke. And so I always kind of carry that stuff with me. And I
Mhm.
think it's better, certainly way better. Like I'm a million light years from where I was, but it is that like me, love me, put me in the center of attention because I want to feel important and special. And it's hard. It's hard
Yeah.
stuff to get past. You're hardwired for this shit. But I think the male attention in particular, and it's funny because for me, it's not. I've always had a boyfriend or a significant other, and now my second husband. But it's not like I didn't have attention from boys. It's like being part of the gang, and for some reason it was always being one of the guys was where I was accepted. Like
Mhm.
I was that girl that could hang with the guys. They liked to have me around. I was fun. I wasn't fucking them. It wasn't like I was sleeping with all of them. I wasn't a skank. I just I could drink. I could smoke weed with them. Like I could do cool things. I was athletic enough to do stuff they wanted to do, and I always thought that made me like cool and special because the dudes wanted me around. Um in retrospect of the times that made me feel important, I was probably transportation because I had a car and and somebody that had money and could buy a bag. Like I was probably getting used so badly that I was just too dumb to really
Aw.
see it. Like, because these are my teenage years, I was probably
Mhm.
just so pathetically desperate to belong and to have friends and to feel like I was important and they wanted me around, and they were probably just using me, um but that piece I guess there's a piece of that has carried forward into my adult persona, and that's what turns me into the like flirty social person because I'm one of the guys. I can hang out with you. I'm cool. Like you guys want me to play golf with you because I'm the
Mhm.
super cool girl who also gets like wasted drunk and apparently makes really inappropriate comments. So you think it's okay to make really inappropriate comments in front of me. Like, nope, nope, I'm a lady. Have some fucking respect.
I'm a fucking
I'm a
lady.
fucking lady. Like that's where I'm at.
No, I
Bitches.
love it.
Yeah. Yeah, it's different. So it definitely is a confidence thing.
For
Cuz
sure.
cuz now I feel like I'm going to be like, no. No, you wouldn't say that to your wife or your mother or
You
whatever.
wouldn't want someone saying that to your daughter, which you're old enough to be my father,
Yeah,
right?
creeper. Yeah. Yeah,
No, I
agreed.
love it, and it takes a while to get there, and that was my thing, like, my girlfriend that was always like, "Oh, don't let any like, why are you letting him hug it?" And it's just like, to me, it doesn't matter, but now I'm much more protective of, like, my bubble, like, you don't really deserve to hug to, like, get that close to my
Mm,
personal space, like,
right.
just valuing yourself,
And I
your
think if
mental space, your
you
physical space.
don't approach with the hug, like if you show up and you're like, "Hey," and you're not
Mhm.
going in for the hug, I don't think they'd be balls enough to like come over and initiate the hug with you.
Oh, people are.
You think so?
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, motherfucker.
Now that's like kind of like a mute point
Pre-COVID.
because it's yeah, now everything's going to be different everywhere, right?
It's a mute point.
Yeah.
Is it a moo point?
Mute point. Yeah.
No, no, I'm just kidding. Anyway.
Um but yeah, no, it is I wish I could take a lot of all that inappropriateness away,
Yeah, like you could just erase that, swipe it
Right, because
away.
it's not fair to you and it's really not fair to your relationship either. Like I can't imagine how many relationships I've inappropriately would have or it's like in the woman of integrity, right? And
Right,
like doing the right thing when no one's around to watch you. It's like
right.
that should be all the time. And
Yep.
when I think about, or like if your boyfriend was standing right behind you, would you say that? If John was standing right behind you, would you
Right,
say that?
right.
And
Or
it's
would
like,
they say that to me? Like,
right.
yeah.
And it's that
Then
mutual
it's
respect.
wrong.
Right.
Yeah.
If you're mutual partners, you mutually respect each other and
Yep.
you wouldn't be saying that stuff and doing that. And that sounds
100%.
simple to people that probably are like, duh. But when you're not confident enough, or you have this need of this attention that, we tend to seek
Yep.
because we don't have it in ourselves, and we're working on it, obviously, but it's
Right.
just like, ugh, it's exhausting, it's inappropriate, and
And it's just another reason to further my female circle.
Mhm.
Like, I find myself seeking female friends now. Like, I don't want, and I don't think that's new necessarily, but even, I guess in different situations, like, I'm more prone to hang with the ladies at this point. Like,
Right.
yeah,
Absolutely.
whenever networking does kick back into gear, I'm sure I will find myself hanging with the ladies more than not.
Mhm.
Yeah.
That's
So
awesome.
that's my little bit on confidence and the man's
This is a man's
the
world.
man's world.
No, for sure. My thing with men too is like I mean, I guess I'd be one of those people that have always been in a relationship kind of person. I would say that's probably a fair statement. But I did have some dating years, and if you want to call them that. But
Some promiscuity.
yes, just a tad. But whatever relationship I was in, like when you were saying like, oh, don't leave me, don't this, like that hit home because I like looked to them for a lot of happiness, right? Like I just didn't have it in myself.
Right.
And I think the men I was with, I think they really did love me and they could see like me. I just couldn't get it out. Like I didn't have enough strength and confidence to be myself. And so I like looked to them to make me happy, right? Well, like you didn't do this, so that's why I'm not happy. Or I'll be happy when you do this. I'll be happy when we live
Yes.
together. I'll be happy when we
Yes.
go on vacation. I'll be happy when you buy me this. And none of that worked.
And yet I'm not happy.
No.
That's why I left my ex-husband, I reached a point in my life where I had everything I had ever wanted and I was still not happy. And I was like, shit. I shouldn't be here. Like that was what happened. Like it was that
Mm-hmm.
I'll be happy when we buy a house. I'll be happy when I get married. I'll be happy when I have my horses at home. I'll be happy when this, like all these things. And I found myself 10 years into this marriage. I was in the house of my dreams. I had my horses in the backyard. I lived in the town that I had always wanted to live in.
Mm-hmm.
I had my truck and trailer. I was training at a local farm. Like I had everything I had ever wanted. And I was still fucking miserable.
But you got out.
I got out. I ran screaming. But I realized it. I was away at a conference, and I was in Florida actually because I worked for AAA at the time, and our headquarters was in Florida. And I was at a conference, and I was in my hotel room, and I was like, man, I don't want to go home. I don't want to go home. I don't miss you. I don't wish I was there. I don't wish you were here. I don't want to go home. Like I remember that was when I knew it needed to end. It didn't end for a while after that, but I was like,
Mhm.
man, I just don't want to fucking go. I don't want to be there. So that was hard to come to that realization, but you're exactly right. Like and I made the same I don't not the same like in stuff. Like Jay Snow's my best friend. I've always like I don't want to hang out with anybody more than I want to hang out with him. We have a great time together. Like he is my partner in crime for sure. But it was still like I need you to be happy. I
Mhm.
need our relationship to be this to be happy. Like I still had a lot of those things and it took me I'm still working on it, but I'm in a place where I'm like, I'd be okay.
Yeah,
I'd survive.
for sure.
I love you, but nobody's going to dictate for me anymore.
And you wouldn't have, and we can say this, we don't know what would have happened, but you feel pretty confident, you wouldn't have drank or had a drink, or you would, and you would
Not that day, at
know,
least.
you would know that that wouldn't help anything, right? Like
Right.
what would
That's
have
the
that helped,
processing.
right?
Right. Not
You
going to
would
make
play the
anything any
tape out,
better.
correct?
Yep. It's only going to make the situation worse.
Because you're doing it for you. Like the other day, I really wanted, I don't know why, but I had this like urge to smoke a cigarette, right? I'm like, nobody would know. Nobody would know. But I would know.
Right.
And that's the shift in me. It's like I know. I know if I said that inappropriate thing to flirt, just to do that, or if I smoke that cigarette, like, it's only harming me.
Right. Well, and if I drank, okay, so let's say
Oh, God.
I was upset,
That would be a
thought my
spiral.
relationship was fucking ending, whatever. Why am I drinking? Am I drinking because it's gonna like calm me down? I'm gonna feel more at ease. So I'm gonna have a glass of wine. It's gonna calm me down. Well, I know I'm not gonna stop at one, right? Because that's fucking pointless. I'm gonna have at least two. It's gonna really lead to four, and then I'm gonna get myself shit faced. And what? I'm gonna go home drunk. And how's that gonna
He's really gonna
fucking
want
go?
you.
Yeah, how's that gonna go? And what am I gonna say and do that I don't really mean or that I wouldn't say and do because I'm sober and thoughtful and thinking? And then what happens? And now we're gonna break up for sure because he's gonna be like, fuck this shit. And now I'm gonna get shit wrecked wasted. And what? Like all these things, like what then? What happens after that? Like it would be insanity to think that drinking would be any of the resolution. It doesn't mean I don't miss it. Doesn't mean I'm like, oh man, what I would give to drink a bottle of wine right now. Oh, doesn't mean I don't think those things. But
They're definitely
the consequences are also highlighted, not just the immediate 10 seconds of relief I would get from the drink.
absolutely.
Yeah. You're right. It's the playing the tape. It's the what then. Okay. So I drink. Then what happens? I don't know. So no, I was very centered about it. And I'm a believer in the just for today. Like I get overwhelmed pretty easily. So I try not to get too ahead of myself with all of that. So it's definitely like the just today mindset. Like, I don't know. I don't know what tomorrow brings. I don't know what would happen if I moved out. I don't know what would happen if we broke up. I don't know. But right now, just for today, I'm going to stand on my own 2 feet. I'm going to speak my truth and I'm going to stay sober.
Woo! Preach it.
Boom. Boom.
Boom.
That's what I got.
No, I love it. I mean,
I
I think
can't drop
that's-
this fancy new mic.
No, Pat will kill you. Boom.
Pretend mic drop. Yeah. So
And that's all because of not drinking, and it's taking
It
it
is.
one day at a time, and it's pushing through to the other side of all those feelings, because it's not like you just woke up and you were like, oh, I feel really confident
Right,
today. I've got all
confident
this.
today.
You know, it's a work in progress, right?
No.
And
And I think we know when we're tested, right? You don't know what you're capable of until there's a show on Netflix or something. I don't even know what it's called, but I keep seeing the previews for it, and the woman says women are like tea bags. You don't know how strong they are till you get them in hot water. I think that is the coolest
love it.
statement ever. I'm like, fucking amen, because you don't know. You don't know. So it's okay when you hit a situation that tests you. You're going to be all right. You can do this. You can stand your own ground and stand on your own 2 feet, and you'll be okay. You just need to not drink in that moment.
right, you've
You
made
need
it
to
this far,
Yeah,
Jesus.
you just, even if it's day 2,
Yeah.
you just need to get through that moment, hold your breath, whatever, like take a deep breath, whatever you need to do, and get through that moment. And then you will be so proud of yourself. Like the pride you will feel will be so worth it and will build on that self-confidence piece by piece by piece. Like I think that it's 9 months of little moments of deciding not to drink that have brought me to a place where I'm like, fucking yeah, I stood up for myself in an appropriate way. Like I wasn't a bitch about
No, you weren't
anything. I was
obnoxious
just
or
like,
anything,
I
yeah.
love you and I want us to be okay, but
Right.
here's how it has to be for us to be okay. Like I was okay staying, in my space.
I love it.
Yeah.
On that note, that's what sobriety, that's like a good sober self-confidence story. I love it.
Yep, it's coming. Hang in there, ladies.
Yeah,
It's
and
coming. And gents, if we have any gents.
yeah.
This isn't a man-hating episode.
No.
It's just a women-men episode.
Yeah, no, and the men are great, and our men are fantastic.
Yes, they've been through hell.
Jesus.
They've earned their
Could
battle
you imagine if they
scars.
were sitting here telling more stories about us right now?
That would be interesting. I wouldn't mind hearing some stories out of them sometime, but
Oh, God.
I don't know. We'll save that one for later. Maybe
Yeah.
after my year.
Okay.
Maybe not. So follow us on Instagram and Facebook, Wild
Yeah.
Girls Gone Sober, and you can email us at wildgirlsgonesober@gmail.com. We'd love to hear from you. We've yet to get an email.
Or a direct message or a Facebook
Yeah,
message.
hey,
So.
is this thing on? And in the meantime, until we see you again, we are staying sober in paradise. Oh, no. You can stay sober wherever you are.
We choose to do it in paradise.
Till next time.
Bye.